It's a new year, which means two things. One, it's time for our annual book recap. And two, I need to make a new vision board. Getting straight into it, we're going to start off the review with the first book I read this year in January, Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity. This was an enjoyable book, I would say. I am a big fan of Ali Abdaal. I've watched every single one of his YouTube videos, and I'm not a part of his YouTuber Academy, but I certainly like the concept, clearly. This book is taking all of his kind of snippets of advice that he has across all of his YouTube channel and condensing it down into one book, which I really, really appreciate. And it left me with a lot of stuff I highlighted. One such thing was about burnout. Let me try to find it. Yes, here, okay. So Ali speaks of 3 different types of burnout. One is the overextension burnout, and this is when you take on too much. You have the depletion burnout, which is when you're giving like a misguided approach to your rest. And then you have a misalignment burnout, and this is when you're just doing the wrong stuff. So if you don't like doing something, it's going to deplete you and burn you out far quicker than anything else. Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 to 4 out of 5. Something in the ballpark of this. It was good. I think he'll do much better on his next one. Next, I have Murakami. If you watched my one last year, you'll know I really loved Colorless, Tasteless Tuzumaki or something like this. And he also had another one, Drive My Car. It was a lot of like love stories, and really, really loved both of those. And this one is his best work, supposedly. Everyone says this is the book that if you want to read him, this is what you should get into. This is the one that's brought him into stardom, I believe. I didn't really vibe with it. There was like page 3. I nearly have like the whole page highlighted. I thought it was such a beautiful description of someone. But after that, there's nothing. And I don't know, it deals with, I think I counted, there was 4 suicides in this book. There was SA with a minor. There was just like some heavy scenes that I honestly had to put the book down and just let it breathe for a little while before I came back to it. But I finished this in February, and I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. That's probably controversial, but yeah, definitely not my favorite one of his. Speaking about being disappointed, I also read Jordan Peterson's Beyond Order. I loved 12 Rules for Life. Really, really enjoyed it. I highlighted literally every rule, but I had such high expectations coming into this one, and I didn't really enjoy it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah, so there is, pieces in here. He talks about Socrates. He talks about all this kind of stuff. It's interesting, but I feel like he came to the same problem just trying to rectify or grapple with how did these sort of philosophies align with his religious beliefs. And especially, take a look at Jordan's newest book, We Who Grapple with God, or something to this effect. It's just not for me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not religious, and there was so many kind of religious motifs and stories kind of interwoven throughout this, and if you like that, you're gonna love the book. But for me, it was just very heavy-handed compared to his first book, which felt very directed and focused. Beyond Order, I'm going to give a 3 out of 5. The next book we're going to go through is Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depends on It by Chris Voss and Tal Raz. This is by the former lead FBI hostage negotiator, and it was excellent. I would give this absolutely a 5 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed this. There was so much in this book that I honestly couldn't synthesize it down into just 1 or 2 points to tell you. But if you're looking to negotiate a new salary, a new job position, going into an interview, even like day-to-day stuff with your partner, learning how to compromise, negotiate, not manipulate, but that's completely separate. If you're looking to up your own confidence, I would say, in negotiating and having understanding about where to position things and how to get what you actually want, overbidding, underbidding, all this kind of stuff, that's the book for you. I would give that a 5 out of 5. Next, I went for a classic. I went for Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Um, as you can see, very old book. This is my mother's copy. And I struggled. I'm not going to lie. I did finish it. But I really, really struggled with this. This was... I love the movies. I need to staple it that. I would give the movies 1 million billion out of 5. Yeah. The book I might give, I think I would give it a 3 or a 2. I don't know how Peter Jackson got this book into that movie. There's like, I have no idea. Genuinely, this was incredibly hard to read through. There is so much singing in it. I mean, you're like 100 pages in. I've got it marked here. You're 100 pages in. You're still in the Shire. This is not what I came here for, guys. This is not what learning about Hobbiton and, you know, this lad singing in the forest. It was too much for me. Not ideal. To get over that, because that was such a tiring book, it was so hard to finish, I went into The Poetry Pharmacy, which is a very easy, quick read. Every page or so is a different poem, and it's actually laid out super, super well. It's from the point of view of a lady who is giving poetry to clients as if a doctor would give to a patient or a pharmacist. It's giving different poems for different ailments: grief, love, loss, condition, unkindness, condition, news overload, condition, infatuation, unrequited love. There's so many. Here's one. Okay, so unrequited love. 2 Cures for Love by Wendy Cope. 1, I don't see him, don't phone or write a letter. 2, The Easy Way, get to know him better. I don't know. Some of them are not as long. Rocky Relationship, Crossed by PK Page. Beautiful. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but you get the idea. If you're looking for an ailment, and I actually have referred to this once or twice throughout the year when I was feeling a little bit low. Really, really beautiful book. I would recommend that. Next, Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I would imagine many people have read this book. It is very, very famous. New York Times best-selling author. It's good. I'm waiting for it to be great. It's Hunger Games meets Dune Worms meets 50 Shades of Grey. That's my, if you want it. There was a lot of things in this, like 1 second it feels like it's written for young adults. Like it really feels like it's like directed at teens. And then the very next scene, definitely not directed at teens. Like there's some saucy stuff. I would give this a 3 out of 5 again, but I'm halfway through the second one because I heard they get much better. I'm halfway through the second one. I'm enjoying that a lot more. My book for August, or my books, I would say, are going to be these. I read a lot of comic books, and I'm just going to put them as 1 month, even though they were sporadic throughout the year. Some of them range from amazing, some of them not so good. The first one, Daredevil. This is the Tzarsky run, if that's how you say that. This is the first one. Really, really enjoyed it. I would love for there to be an omnibus of this. I would 100% get that. I really liked that. Volume 1 and Volume 2 of DC's Vampires. These were genuinely a lot of fun. I didn't think I was going to enjoy something I don't know, as cringy as this or whatever, but this was so much fun. It's the world has been infected by vampires. A lot of the heroes and villains have turned into vampires, and they're kind of like overlords, killing everybody. And it's just like a handful of them left that are trying to save the world. I thought that was really fun. I read both of those. These two again are connected, and I would say this one is amazing. This is a 10 out of 5 reads. I love this. This was, if you enjoy the show or the movie, this is definitely what you should read. This thing is a 0 out of 5. This was awful. I just genuinely couldn't imagine. I thought like this relates to this in some ways. This is all of the different Spider-Men and then their kind of start basically, and how they kind of jump into this other comic book, and it's awful. It's not good. It's not good. Just skip it. Speaking of cheating a little bit, for September, I'm going to do this. Ta-da! Obviously, I did not read every single Harry Potter book in 1 month, but I did throughout the year listen to every single one of these on Audible. And if Audible wanted to sponsor me, this is exactly where I would put that segment. But I really, really enjoy audiobooks. It helps me if I'm at the gym or if I'm in the car or basically just like cooking and doing stuff around the house. I pretty much always have an audiobook on. And my choice for this year was I was going to get through every single one of the Harry Potters. Narrated by Stephen Fry. Amazing. Genuinely, if you're looking for like an audiobook experience, this is the one to have. You have everything from Philosopher's Stone up to Deathly Hallows. Beautifully done, voice acted. It just brings you there. Genuinely. Really, really enjoyed this. Every single one of these books is a 10 out of 5. We all know that. But what I'm trying to get you on to is the audiobook version. Very good. For our spooky season, October, I had to go for your main man, Stephen King. And because I enjoyed The Shining so much last year, I really loved it. I thought I'd follow it up with the sequel, Doctor Sleep. And honestly, it did not disappoint. This is another 5 out of 5 book. It takes the lore that you had from the first one and it expands upon it in the second one. You have the character development from the first one into the second. It introduces new characters and none of it feels forced or not thought through. It really does feel like the perfect extension to what is already an amazing standalone book. And I couldn't have been more happy with that. Really, really enjoyed that. Moving on. The biography for Steve Jobs. I never have ever read a biography about anyone ever. And I bought a load of Apple stuff this year. My new MacBook and the iPad, which is here, iPad Pencil. I have an iPhone. So I guess I'm now an Apple fanboy, I suppose. But this book was riveting. Genuinely, I didn't think a biography about someone would be as interesting as it was, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like that it's done by Walter Isaacson. He's done a couple of other ones that I might check out, but he takes the brilliance that is part of Steve Jobs, but he in no way kind of overshadows that or shies away from the fact that he was also a terrible dude. Like he was really mean to people, really awful to the people he worked with. He screwed over a lot of people. He just wasn't an overall pleasant man to be around, it seems. He neglected his daughter, all that kind of stuff. Long story short, I'd give this 4 out of 5. And if you have any other autobiographies that you would recommend, please do send them on to me, because like I said, that's my very first. Final book of the year. And probably the best book that I read this year, not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure this book won Book of the Year 2023, and I can 100% see why. I mean, even Stephen King says in the back, hard to put down, harder to forget. Very true. It was gripping, honestly. This book made me think of the overused theme or the overused word narcissist. That I feel has become kind of a pop culture-y thing to say or to call someone, but this book embodies it. It does it so well, and without her even acknowledging it or saying what she is or trying to hit you over the head with it. This is a 10 out of 5 book. It was really, really excellent, and I couldn't actually recommend this more. So yeah, that's it. That's my book haul for the year. These are what I'm currently reading at the moment. I'm more or less halfway through both of them, I guess. This, like I said, is a lot better than the first one already. It's just far more interesting, and the characters are just better overall, basically everything. And this is a Stephen King book, which is not horror. Didn't know he actually did that, but I got this off of Haley Pham's YouTube channel. She recommended it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this. This is such an interesting time travel book. I'm thoroughly enjoying both of these at the moment, and that's where I'm going to leave it. If you did like this, drop a like, drop a comment. Please recommend any book you want. I'm pretty much open to everything. You can see my genre is diverse, to say the least. So yeah, if you enjoy this, drop a like, and I'll catch you again next year.